Hey fellow airheads, here's Heiko. I am working on something and I might need your advice on this. So here you can see the two axles of my airhead, rear and front. The rear axle is just fine. The bearings were all nice and tight in the hub. Had to heat it nicely to get it out in one piece. The whole bearing stack came out in one piece. Ordered some parts. I got a good deal on SKF bearings, tapered roller bearings. I got all the seals on the way, and I even this it's called a top head spacer. It's kind of rusty, right where the seal rides on it. I'm gonna replace all those spacers as well, just to have a fresh start. So new seals, new spacers. You know, because they are the surface that seal against the seal ring here. Then new bearings, and then I have a little pack of shims, adjustment shims. They are 0.05 millimeters, so 5/100ths of a millimeter. That's pretty thin. They're very thin. To do some adjustment, preload adjustments and all that, and I perfectly trained myself, educated myself in all the different methods on how to test the preload, the shake test, the snow bum method with the scale and all that. But now let's get to the problem. Problem that I would like your advice for is the fact that it looks like one of my front bearings has spun a little bit. You can see a little bit of some shininess right in the middle of the surface here. This one also has that slightly. And then if we go over to the actual hub, maybe I should have turned on some more lights here, but I'll turn on my camera light. And then look into the hub itself. You can see some sign of spinning here. I gotta say that the bearings, I still had to heat up the hub quite significantly. It's to about like 200 some degrees to get the outer races out of this. You know, you can't punch them just out cold, or else you're gonna ruin the casting here. This is cast aluminum, and the bearing race is hardened steel. So you have to heat up the aluminum around it to make it be a little loosey-goosey, and then you punch it out. But there's definitely some sign of some spinning. And the bearing itself, of course, one-handed operation here. Let's see if I can get this apart here real quick to show you. So definitely the outer race shows some sign of just age, or maybe the preload wasn't correct. So now I'm going to be all greasy again here. So top head spacer, the inner race fine. The bearing itself, it's kind of, yeah, there's definitely something going on. And now let me just show you one outer race. Do you see all those rectangular looking imprints there? You cannot feel them, but it's definitely something that happens to the surface of this ground bearing ring. And when I put the bearing together and then spin it with my fingers, it feels like a washboard. Like it's growling. The bearing is growling. So I don't know if it's because the bearing was sitting so long in someone's garage, previous owner, or maybe because the preload wasn't adjusted correctly. Anyways, the bearings are shot, and now I'm afraid that my bearing, at least slightly, not much, I mean, it wasn't seized. Oftentimes those bearings overheat, then they seize together, and then this whole bearing starts spinning inside your hub, and then it doesn't take long before your hub is completely toast. Here in my case, it looks like we only had like the very onset of some spinning. And as I said, the outer race that is a friction fit into the casting here was still relatively snug in there. So I had to do heating, and then from the inside, I punched them out. The inner edge is exposed from the other side, so you just stick a punch through it and then go around 90-degree increments and just tap it out. After heating, it didn't take much to get them out, but at least I felt like the race was still in there snug. So now my question, do you think I can get away with just securing the new bearing and the new race in there with some Loctite? And then my second question is, what type of Loctite would you use if you think that would be an option? I don't want to do any knurling. I have read that some people knurl the inside, so they rough up the inside so the material expands a little bit, and then they have a little tighter fit. So I'm not super concerned about the fit. I don't think it's oversized yet. I just want to make sure it doesn't happen again. And of course, with brand new bearings, there's going to be way less friction between the inner and outer race because the notches are not going to be there. If I just give it a light smear of some sort of Loctite. So do you guys think that's an acceptable way of doing this? And what type of Loctite would you use? All right, guys, thanks for watching, and please give me some feedback. I would like to hear your opinion. If you are not wrenching on your airheads yourself, and your comment will be, just take it to a shop, that's not going to happen. I will fix everything that breaks on my airhead. And if it's the transmission or I have to do a bottom end rebuild, I will not go to a shop. So yeah, that comment will be of not much use for me. But anyways, appreciate your feedback, and thank you for watching. Take care.